Hello, world, and welcome to my room. This is Jeff Cavanaugh alongside a guy named Bob. Guy named Bob Sturm. That would be 96.7 and 13.10 the ticket. Or is that backwards? Do you do 13.10 and 96.7 FM?
Yeah, we're really trying to lean into the AM. We think that's up and coming,
I
and
think AM is
we
hot.
just we feel like that's what we're going to build around is AM radio. So we're really looking forward to that. I'm sorry about just Bob. I didn't know it was formally going to be on the screen. This is very big time. My bad.
I kind of support it. I like it a lot. As you can tell, Bob is here out of the kindness of his heart, not for self promotion, because he didn't even put his own last name. So it's Sturm if you're looking for his last name.
There you go.
You can find his work freaking everywhere. This is the joy of being unemployed for me is that I'm allowed to do things that I wasn't allowed to do when I was employed because,
Right.
contracts and rules and stuff.
I like it.
So it's exciting to be able to talk football with one of the minds in, well, not even just DFW, the world that I
Oh,
respect and doesn't do it the way that so many people do it, where it's all hot takey and disgusting. And it's just like, hey, what about actual sports analysis? So welcome. Here's Bob,
thank you.
actual sports analysis.
Oh, that's so nice of you, and I'm very interested in your journey. Of course, we've talked about this on and off, and actually never on the air. We've never actually been on the air before together. I don't even know. Are we on the air now? I guess it's all just we're
Technically, no.
we're somewhere in the ether together, and it's not a golf course. And I support you in your journey, and I've always liked the way you do things. So let's party.
All right. So yeah, we're not live out of respect to the fact that the ticket is live. And that would be rude to be
Well,
having the
surely they'll
ticket
take that into
going live
consideration.
with a ticket person while the ticket's on the air. Here we go.
Yeah,
No, but this will pop up on my YouTube channel when I'm done uploading it. So I guess we'll mention Brian Schottenheimer and like topical things of the day that everybody is asking about, but I can do that later.
sure.
I am more interested in, I guess, two different things
Okay.
while I have you. One is how you're doing with the draft and all the branches that come off of that tree right now. And number two is this is the most frustrated slash angry I've seen the Cowboys fan base, at least on Twitter,
Mhm.
after a football season. And so when you look at their front office, like what of the things that people are super mad about do you think are actually legitimate things? And what is just people love to be angry about sports?
Boy, there's a lot there. Let's start with the second one, and then remind me to circle back to the draft, and we can do that in just a bit for sure. Um, it feels like a culmination of a lot of things in the sense that yeah, these are times where everybody's online and everybody has a podium and everybody has to, come in hot and feel like that if you're not raging against some machine, then you're probably not doing it right. And I get it; it's the time, and also it's been a long journey in the desert for Cowboys fans, and so those two things probably have helped things percolate just a little bit. Um, at the same time, I think Mavericks fans are wildly frustrated right now, and they have one of the best players in the world, and their team is on an upward climb, and it's largely many of the same humans. So it's just I don't know. I For me, sports are fun, man. I wake up every day and I look forward to learning about something I didn't know about, or somebody I didn't know about, or some matchup. I recently made a list. I don't know if you know who is it Maria Kondo is, but she is. Uh, Boy, this is the first time Marie Kondo is being mentioned on the Jeff Kavanaugh show. I'm positive, but she specializes, Jeff,
Condo.
in helping people unclutter their life and like get organized, which I can tell from your bookshelf. You're a very organized man. I like
It's fairly cluttered, but I'm not organized.
I like what you have back there at least, so you at least understand where the camera's pointed. But the point to all of it is we all junk up our lives with clutter, and she wants you to kind of go through your possessions and figure out what brings you joy. And so I have kind of stolen that as a list of athletes that bring me joy, and they're not the best player on my favorite team because that's cheating. Anybody can just list their favorite teams and then say, oh well, Aaron Rodgers brings me joy, or whatever. uh, you know Luka Doncic brings me. No, no, no. I'm talking about unaffiliated athletes that are just out there that you say, I bought League Pass. It's Thursday night. Where's Ja Morant tonight? Because he brings me joy. He makes
I
me.
was gonna say Ja Morant.
Yeah, yeah, he's a great one. Fernando Tatis is a great one. Connor McDavid's on my list. Of course, Messi has always been on my list. But the point is, I don't watch sports to get mad. I watch sports to dream, and to believe that something cool is about to happen. And I know full well it's not. Okay, so it's a bit of a mind hustle, but life is full of headaches and worries and anxiety and just a lot of things that clutter your mind. I don't really like to mix that with my entertainment if I can help it. Now, again, it's all woven together, but that's a quick way of saying I do try to, as some people might say, pump a little sunshine into the way I deliver sports to the masses, because that's the point, isn't it? I mean, if I just wanted to come on here and say, look, odds are that Dak Prescott's never going to win a Super Bowl, and odds are that the next guy won't either, and this is all just a exercise in time killing, and that Doncic is probably going to win a title, but it's going to be somewhere else. And you just go on and on with all the telling people what the odds are. What's the point, man? The point for me would be uh, the best example, and if you follow me on Twitter, you can't help but see it, is the Giannis life cycle of Giannis Antetokounmpo. When the Bucks drafted him, he was just a guy who had awesome dunks, who played in Greece, and nobody really understood where he came from, and you know if he understood anything about the NBA, or even at the time, I don't think he knew what a smoothie was, or chicken nuggets. I mean, seriously, he was discovering a smoothie and chicken nuggets after the Bucks took him in the lottery, which is pretty funny. But the point to all that is, I kind of joined him vicariously through League Pass, and just through my day to day of just kind of checking in on him and just seeing what he's up to and what weird plays he's making, full well building to this possibility that someday it's all going to fall into place and the dream will be alive. And that happened last summer, and I was there. And I count that as one of the payoffs of a life of following sports. I turned 50 in a couple months, which is pretty crazy for me to consider. And I know that I've probably used up all of my wishes to the sports genie already. And even though I don't think I've ever followed a dynasty, but I've seen Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers both win Super Bowls. I saw Aaron Rodgers win a Super Bowl in the city I was working in. I've seen Dirk finally win a title. Now I've seen Giannis do it. I was there. I was there for Dirk's. I mean, I was there when the Stars won the Stanley Cup in Buffalo. I mean, I feel like I've lived a bit of a Where's Waldo sort of life, and that's how that's how I try to view things. And so you asked me a very simple, very basic question about the cowboy attitude amongst the world, and I'm just telling you, I am the type of person to almost take on negative attitudes, because I just don't see the point if you're just gonna, for lack of a better term, drop a deuce on every little news item that comes out there and just wallow in misery. What's the fun, right?
Yeah, yeah. I guess
I don't want to lie, but I'm not lying. Okay, I want to
no,
be
right,
clear.
right, 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 right. No, I was just wondering if you had any specific, because like people are just constantly like, you know what, the Joneses are stupid heads. They don't know what they're doing. This organization's broken. They're all
Right.
awful. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, they just put out a 12-win team that you're mad because they didn't go further in the playoffs because
Right.
they had a good team, right? So like
Right.
they're obviously not completely inept. But when I look at the Cowboys organization, I'm like, yeah, they draft and develop well. They're clearly not incompetent, but there are specific things. And like when I get specific with it, I would say, man, they've really struggled to identify the right guys to pay and when.
Yes.
Like Dak, you could have had for cheaper. Zeke, you probably should have never paid. Jalen, you probably should have never paid.
Right.
And so I guess that was kind of the vein of my question, was just are there actual tangible things other than I'm mad that
Yeah.
when you look at how they do this, that you're like, real criticism, like that
Well,
could be
you know what?
better.
First of all, I think people don't know what a bad season looks like around here. I mean, Dave Campbell probably helped us learn that, but that's already coming up on 20 years ago. For Cowboy fans in the last 15 years, so a whole generation of them, a bad season's like 8 wins, and a good season is unheard of. But there's been several 12 and 13 win seasons. And so, from that standpoint, they don't know what a bad season is around here. Picking in the top five, basically what the New York Giants have done over the last 5 or 6 years. So first of all, we call a mediocre season a horrible season around here because we're the Dallas Cowboys. We won all these Super Bowls and all these NFC title games and so forth. But yeah, from a tangible standpoint, it just yes, it comes down to they're I think cooking from the right recipe most of the time. They're homegrown, they're developing, they're drafting well, they're promoting from within. I mean, these are all what the successful teams do. So now you just need a couple special players doing special things at special times of the year. And for whatever reason, Mr. Romo and Mr. Prescott have not quite clicked at the level many of us want them to be at. And that's essentially the story. I don't want to make it too simple, but yeah, they do fall in love with the shiny objects and they do overinvest in non-premium positions. And I'm sure we could debate that, but I think we mostly agree on it. And other, but they're largely a well-run front office over the last 5 or 10 years. They really are. They're not just out there signing the craziest thing they can think of on the first day of free agency like they used to be. They are doing things the way smart teams do, and I think that's a great recipe to remain in the top half of the league. But boy, in a 32 team league, if the only measure of success is winning a Super Bowl, you're going to always be disappointed. You have to take some measure of accomplishment in 12 win seasons. I mean, those are hard to come by, and you just had one, and everybody's like, this sucks. So, it's
People
just,
can't do it. People
no,
can't do
those
it.
are, right? I'm
12
not saying be
wins.
happy with it, but just understand how hard it is to get there.
Right.
Just chop the league into a pie and just see where you actually rank. And if you're in the top 10 of a 32 team league, I'm sorry, but you're a good organization.
And I think that's probably it's tough to kind of reconcile those things because of I don't know what the stat is, where it's like teams who have been in a championship game
Yeah.
since the Cowboys won the Super Bowls, and it's like what, you and two or three other teams.
It's absolutely shocking how
And the
little
answer to it,
accomplished.
and the answer to it, correct me if you disagree, is kind of terrible luck.
Yeah,
Like Romo had at least two teams that were capable of getting to an NFC title game and didn't.
right.
Dak has had at least one, probably two teams that were capable of getting there and didn't.
Yes.
But in at least one way, you keep company with the awful organizations, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, I guess in that way that they haven't gotten it done at the end of the year.
Well, the biggest problem is for 20 years, let's say 1975 to 1995, every Cowboy fan drove everybody at their workplace insane by being a Cowboy fan and over the top and proud and just strutting around and hey, we're the Cowboys and you're not. And so unfortunately all those people remember it. And so now it's from 96 till now basically has been a get even with a Cowboy fan man at work. And so
Oh, I think Cowboy fans hate the Cowboys more than anybody
yes.
else.
Well, no, they do now, but they know they have to answer for the Jones family. They have to answer for Dak or for Romo at work because their ancestors did not play nice. And so, if you're under the age of 40, this really doesn't have anything to do with you. Talk to your dad about why he was strutting around his workplace and making everybody hate the Cowboys so much.
That's hilarious, and I'd never really thought of that.
No, and look, Packer fans are the same way. So I grew up when the Packers were absolutely awful. I was 22 2 years old before they played in a playoff game in my lifetime, except for the strike year of '82, which doesn't count. And so I grew up, and they were the uncool team to like, even in Wisconsin. And you would just, I liked them because I somehow got hooked into this idea that you like the teams where you're from, and you commit to them. And
God, we all fall for that.
yeah, it's a dumb thing, but in the end, now the generation after me, they've never known a quarterback that wasn't a Hall of Famer, and they're insufferable and they're jerks, and they give us all a bad name. And so I'd like to apologize on behalf of the young Packer fans who are annoying as heck. So I get it too.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Okay, Cowboys draft, because I know
Okay.
that you're doing draft digest things for The Athletic, which means I know you've probably seen at least 20, 30, 40. I have no idea. I'm just
We're up to
ballparking.
40. We're up to
Okay.
40.
I'm ballparking round numbers here.
Yes, sir.
Two directions. You can choose one at your leisure.
Okay.
Direction one, I think one of the most fun draft questions, and one that a lot of people tend to ask, is like, the first round, do you think there is a way that they're planning on going? Because, like, in my brain, they haven't plugged left guard, and I think they'll still sign a veteran at some point, but I can't believe McGovern's the plan. Like, I feel like they're almost tractor beamed into it at this point, offensive line in the first round.
Yeah.
Do you buy that at the moment there is a blueprint that could be altered if they sign people? And then we'll get into actual guys that you like.
Yeah, I would say that you're on the right track. For me, I've got it in my head that they're going offense with their first 3 picks, and so
O-line, well, left guard, wide receiver, and
well, I mean, probably best available skill position, or I think you would say O line, wide receiver, and then talk me into a tight end, talk me into another offensive line, talk me into just another wide receiver. So best weapon, that sort of thing. So I think they either want 2 offensive line or 2 weapons out of the first 100 picks. So there are 3 guys, and could be wrong, and there could be guys that chase them off that can really help their defense. Obviously, edge is a little soft right now, and the premise of getting yet another linebacker to kind of free up Micah to go wherever he may roam. I think there's some sense in that, but those are the general thoughts. I guess we should keep our eye open maybe for a special safety in the first 2 days. I come back to day 3 for me is kind of a let's just go look for players, and I think I've heard you say that as well. And I
the
think that
draft is mostly a 3 to 4 round event.
yes,
Now,
yes,
you get enough darts or you find the right guy, you
right,
can hit, but
sure.
can't
And it's
betting
hard.
that you're but
It's hard to
in draft
explain that.
season, it's tempting, especially as a draft guy, to be like, "Oh, what hold on, one of my guys is still here, like, I can hit on 5 guys on day
Yeah,
3." The odds are that's not happening. It's mostly a 3 to 4 round event.
exactly. And so uh once we get past there, go fix your special teams, go get depth guys, and get nice players. But I really think that given how much they put on the defense, and I mean, dude, last spring was all about defense, and it needed to be, and it was successful. So not complaining. But unless they find something that they just can't walk away from, that's the direction I think they're headed.
Have you seen Sky Moore? It's in my contract. I have to say his name every time I talk.
You know what? I have waited on wide receivers, and
Okay.
so this might not give me tons of insight on which wide receiver I'm all over. I am aware that Sky Moore needs to be on my list, partly because you won't shut up about him. But I am planning on next. Let's see, in a week or two, I got your Williams, Olave, Burks, London, Wilson, and then keep going down the list. Because there's going to be 10
Well, it's
wide receivers in the top 50.
and it's clear that for the Cowboys, it's relevant because 4 of what is it? 4, I think, right now of their pre-draft 30 visits have come out, and Burks and Olave are on it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Cowboys clearly, it's possible that they could pick a receiver at 24 because they're not burning visits as smoke screens.
No, and you better get busy because all these teams with multiple first round picks all seem to need wide receivers. And, it's a league that you don't look for 2 anymore, you look for 4. I mean, it's just the way the draft has morphed even since I've been doing it. You went from 21 personnel to now everyone's in 11 and 10 personnel, and they don't have enough wide receivers. And of course, we don't have enough guys who can cover wide receivers. And so it turns into every year, top 2 rounds, you're going to have 10 wideouts and you're going to have 10 corners.
And I love, 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 love. My favorite storyline, I think, of this draft that's not Cowboy related is that the 2 best quarterbacks on the planet just lost their best receivers. So, like, for draft nerds, I'm just
Yeah,
sitting here like, which one of these guys, and I know Green Bay doesn't do this, but
right.
my gut is that they will. Like, now you
Yep.
get 2 ones, and Kansas City has 2 ones.
Yeah.
Like, which of these rookie wide receivers is about to go for 1,300 yards with one of the best quarterbacks on the planet?
Yeah, it's a wild scenario. I mean, the contracts at wide receiver have changed the game almost overnight, and both of those teams deciding to get away from their top 5 guy to load up on the kids tells us what they think of the draft, tells us what they think of paying a wide receiver quarterback money, and what tells us what you should think about tying up 80 million in 2 guys. And so, um, I get it. But I also would be pretty nervous if I was either one of those offenses.
Yeah. I'd also be pretty nervous if I was Tyreek Hill. I hope
Yeah,
Tua can play. I
dude,
hope he can play. Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I want
that's
both of them
crazy.
with Mahomes.
It's beautiful, and I'll tell you, Tua won't be there for long if it doesn't work out. They will be the prime destination at this point next year for the next quarterback game of musical chairs, which I'm sure is coming and might involve some of the guys from this year.
Let us not forget, of course, Cedric Wilson in
That's right.
Miami. This is the third, maybe. Isn't Devontae Parker still there? Who cares? Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
Last thing before I let you go, though,
Sure,
would
man.
be as you've worked your way through your 40 on your way to 7 million guys that you
Oh,
watch for the draft.
I can't do what you do. I got my 60 and then
I can't do
I
what I
hope
do
I win.
anymore.
Okay.
I'm at like 90, 95 this year. I'm hoping to get 125, 130. Like there were years where I was doing 250, 300 and it was like, ah,
I
but
just can't do it.
well, you also have
What happens when you
37
don't?
jobs. You got
What's that?
37 jobs.
Well,
As you've
yeah.
been watching, which names have jumped out that you go 24? Yes, 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 yes.
Well, obviously Kenyon Green is very nice. I like Kennard from Kentucky. If you want to talk offensive line, obviously the guys up top will be gone, so we don't even need to talk about those. But yeah, I mean, if you get into a spot where Zion Johnson, I know you guys are. You've talked up quite a bit. I don't know if you're part of his agency or not, but I would.
Not a
I would.
Zion fan.
You are a Zion fan?
Oh, I'm saying you aren't, or you.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay. I thought it sounded accusatory, like, "Oh,
No,
yeah,
no,
I hear
no,
you
no.
talking
I
about
like
him."
him, but dude, look, someday let's do our own episode on the Cowboy draft machine. That is 5 or 10 suspects of the Cowboy media on Twitter that literally lead the entire city like the Walking Dead zombies down these paths of just pounding the table for guys that they may have never seen play, but they've been told 1,000 times between like Thanksgiving and draft day that this is the man of your dreams. And so, I mean, our boy Xavier Woods is a great example of
I got you a 4-year starter in the 6th round,
you guys
Bob.
pumping the tires so much of that kid that it's like, hold on, everybody, we're probably not going to put him first team All Pro right away. I know Cavanaugh loves him. I know Broadus is throwing him out there. I get it. The draft industrial complex in this city is very strong.
I'd like to apologize for my role in it.
No, no, it's great. Honestly, it's great because we used to all just buy magazines at the grocery store and try to figure out the draft. So it's at least great that we have a million people trying to watch these guys. But I did linebackers this week. I'm not recommending it, but I
I
do
love
see the
Nakobe Dean.
I do love Nakobe Dean, man.
And
And
I
I know
really like Devin Lloyd, and I know the NFL is gonna love him because he's 6'3", but I love Nakobe Dean.
where you at on the Wyoming kid.
Muma?
Yeah.
Like second round, like at
Yeah.
56. Like
Okay.
this is what happens in the draft every year, and I'm going to question myself on this too. Like every year, I see a bunch of guys, and I'm like, oh, he's going to fall between your first and second pick, and then he'll be
Yeah.
gone, and you can't have him. But I'd love to have him with my second pick. But I also say that about too many guys, where guys will be available. But like Muma, yeah, second round, gimme,
I think
gimme.
I would take him in the second round. I'd be all over him. He might challenge Lloyd for my second favorite linebacker. I know that's not going to be popular because I've seen people put Devin Lloyd in the top 10, and I just try to avoid everyone putting people everywhere because I think it just makes us all run in circles. But I really like the Georgia kid. He is unbelievable, and a lot of it for those guys is the old Sean Lee thing of kind of knowing where you're going before the play even starts, and it just gives you such an advantage that you can't put on a watch for a 40 time, and so when those guys are smarter than anybody else on the field, you just feel like they're twice as fast as they really are.
Team Nakobe Dean.
Yeah, man.
Okay. We did the draft. We did the Cowboys, Bob. And I know you have a life and a job. So I do
I'm
appreciate
sorry I don't have a bigger window, but let's do it again as long as I don't get boycotted or anything, right?
as long as you don't get boycotted. And I guess as long as I'm unemployed. Uh, yeah.
Well, are you
Yeah.
trying to be employed? You've only been a free agent for like 3 weeks.
Oh, no. I'm just, hanging out, just doing stuff, just doing the
You don't have a
thing.
boss, dude. Think about that. Think about how I've never not had a boss.
I don't have a boss.
Yeah.
I have 2 dogs. That's as close as it gets to a boss. Like,
Okay. Well, you're doing great. I
my
think
requirements over the course of a day is food in a bowl twice.
I love it.
Outside of that, we're
Let's
good.
go.
All right.
Man, I'm happy to be on here, man, and I want big things for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the time. There goes Bob Sturm. Hi, I'm Jeff Cavanaugh. This will be uploaded shortly, but I don't have to say that out loud because you'll see it when it's uploaded. So when I say it, will have already been uploaded. So that's dumb. So I'm just going to hit end recording. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. So be cool to everyone. I love you. Bye.